What is up? What is up? YouTube, how y'all doing, man? Check this out. Oh, it ain't too early in the morning. Drake weird obsessions with other men's girls. What in the world is my team giving me, man? Shout out to Kendrick Lamar, the Drake fan. These are the Drake fans, right? Shout out to Kendrick Lamar, man. Shout out to Drake too, man. But dude, this beef or this little rap battle, whatever you want to call it, made it all the way to the Super Bowl, man. Hip hop should be proud of themselves that the Super Bowl halftime was about a daggone mixtape beef. Yeah. Look here, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's see what Drake's weird obsession with other men's girls. Let's see what this video is all about, man. Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell.
There's some lessons that people can
Let's
never
check
learn.
it out.
And in Drake's case, it's almost like self-sabotage. Back when the beef between he and Kendrick was at its height, his loss wasn't something a lot of people were commiserating over. In fact, with the way that he behaved both online and away from the prying eyes of the public, there were plenty of people who felt like he was simply facing the consequences of his own actions.
Or he's a selfish, lying, manipulative sack of shit who has made enemies for 15 years, and now we're here at the fucking boiling point. You have been behind the scenes, hitting his baby moms, sending money to baby. Yo, dog, you've been back and sending messages to this wife, talking about hey, but this mom died. Hey, all that's cool, but where my beat at? I don't give a that your mom died. Dog, this been a sack of shit behind the scenes, and because he got fans and had Lucian, everybody just get to turn a blind eye.
Now caught in the middle of a new feud.
What? Nah, I know ain't nobody's mom passed away and you like, I don't give a where my beat at. Nah, come on, dog. You gotta have some type of sympathy on this, man.
One that wouldn't be fought with bars, but in the courtroom, Drake seems to be falling back into his old habits. By now, you'd think that he'd realize that dragging romantic partners or family into the mix almost always comes with consequences. However, it seems to only get worse as time progresses. It's your boy 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗞𝗦, and today we're going to be taking a deep dive into Drake's weird history of targeting his ops as women, whether it's their daughters, wives, or other associates. And like Kendrick said, the rabbit hole goes deep. By now, the Toronto rapper has an extensive history of taking aim at innocent bystanders on the sidelines of beef. So much so that people just see it as an undeniable fact by this point. And in his latest standoff with UMG, it turns out that his conduct hasn't changed, suggesting that he hasn't done any work on himself since the last time he took an L. At the minute, Drake is rebelling against a man who was previously dubbed as his daddy by Kanye, the UMG CEO Lucian Grange.
Say rich baby daddy, it's like Drake has a rich baby daddy named Lucian and Universal.
Wow.
He's like, you know, like, man, my daddy got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my daddy controlled the spins. My daddy got the DSPs. My daddy, Drake has a rich baby daddy.
Despite Drake and his company, Frozen Moments LLC, suing Universal for defamation over the lyrics in Not Like Us, the label has refused to back down and fired back with a statement that openly mocked his claims.
Not only are these claims untrue, but the notion that we would seek to harm the reputation of any artist, let alone Drake, is illogical. We have invested massively in his music, and our employees around the world have worked tirelessly for many years to help him achieve historic commercial and personal financial success. Throughout his career, Drake has intentionally and successfully used UMG to distribute his music and poetry, to engage in conventionally outrageous back and forth rap battles, to express his feelings about other artists. He now seeks to weaponize the legal process to silence an artist's creative expression and to seek damages from UMG for distributing that artist's music. We have not and do not engage in defamation against any individual. At the same time, we will vigorously defend this litigation to protect our people and our reputation, as well as any artist who might directly or indirectly become a frivolous litigation target for having done nothing more than write a song.
But rather than handling it with the calculated restraint you would expect from a major corporation like UMG, they seem dead set on going to war, suggesting that Drake may have finally pushed them too far.
fucked up.
They seem
They are past
like enough for you now, which is odd.
No, I don't think so.
Really? You don't think that they're tired of the brat just
I think that
throwing
he might
tantrums
be,
and stomping his fucking feet?
We done had them conversations, and
Already.
the line is drawn.
Yeah.
Ain't no budget no more. Okay, then nigga, it's up. Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know how you talk to somebody like, all right, well, that's what it is. All right, well, fuck, you do what you got to do then.
But in typical fashion, Drizzy has noted their animosity and decided to wave another red flag in front of the UMG bull. And as always, he's made it personal by dragging someone on the sidelines into the mix. This time, it's Lucien Grange's daughter-in-law, Sophia Richie. Taking to his alternate Instagram account Plot Twist, Drake maliciously shared an image of her sporting a sweater with an OVO owl on it. To make matters worse, he wiped his entire following list, leaving only her as the one person he follows. In the wake of this move, the model and mother of one has refrained from responding because, in all likelihood, she's got better things to do than to get tangled up in these industry politics. But ultimately, she's just being used as a pawn here, with the target of Drake's aggression being the men in her life. And sadly, no one was the least bit surprised that he opted for this tactic, or that he's naive enough to expect a positive outcome. This is why it was easy for the whole industry to churn on him. He does weird shit all the time. I'm starting to get the hint that I don't think Drake ever learned what fuck around and find out is. The reason for the disgust isn't necessarily what he's doing. After all, this is hip hop and leverage is there to be used in battle. However, the problem is that it's a very pronounced pattern, and it's one that doesn't generally work out for him. Beginning with his feud with Meek Mill, the women in and around the rapper he's beefing with have
Damn. He got a feud with Meek Mills. I can never pronounce this dude's name. Jesus. Damn, Drake.
However, the problem is that it's a very pronounced pattern, and it's one that doesn't generally work out for him. Beginning with his feud with Meek Mill, the women in and around the rapper he's beefing with have always been wielded as a weapon by Drizzy. In Nicki's case, she and Drake had been friends for years. Having learned their craft together alongside Lil Wayne as his two leading proteges from Young Money, Drake initially seemed happy to collaborate with her man Meek Mill from Philly. After releasing Amen together the previous year, the pair reunited for Rico, and it was the line, "The girl of your dreams to me is probably not a challenge," that initially had Meek in his feelings as he thought he was low-key getting sneak dissed on his own album. Afterwards, he historically unveiled that Drake had used ghostwriters in the form of Quentin Miller, which set the stage for the most notable W of Drake's battling career. But as is always the case with the Drake feud, there was collateral damage in the form of the female caught in the middle. Initially, Drake's diss tracks like Charged Up had Nicki-based bars that were intended to belittle Meek as less than his girl as soon as the bars began.
No woman ever had me starstruck, but was able to tell me to get my bars up.
This assault kept coming on back to back, featuring lines referring to Meek doing a support slot at Nicki's shows.
You love it, you gotta get a world tour. Is that a world tour or a girl's tour?
Then, he inferred that the whole thing wouldn't last, rhyming,
I don't wanna hear about the summer again. Not even when she tell him that they better as friends.
That's all fair in some ways if he didn't know Nicki, but by this time she was engaged to Meek, while Drake had been her friend for the better half of a decade. In the Philly rapper's case, he claimed that all the talk about Nicki being more acclaimed than him never affected their relationship or his self-worth.
I remember last year just watching people, everybody going against me about a diss track, and you know, I used to look at it like, yo, y'all really think this gonna stop me?
Right.
You think on telling me I'm going on my girlfriend's tour gonna stop me? Was that a joke? Because where I come from, like, you know, we come up, when you get money, a lot of guys, you end up gotta take care of girls, they ain't got nothing, they don't got no hustle into them, no hustle for themselves. You know what I'm saying? They just taking out your pocket and things like that. Was that funny? I thought that was like live for me to have a girl that like get more money than me, that do a bigger tour than me. I thought that was actually dope. Be able to wake up, go on stage with your girl, make some money, have some good loving at the end of the night. That's some live shit. I never thought that was, I was looking at that like, is that a joke? Where we come from, that's like live nigga shit.
In the end, the real victim in all of this was Minaj herself, who admitted, "It doesn't make me feel good. You don't ever want to choose sides between people you love. It's ridiculous. I just want it to be over." Later, after the dust settled and Drake was crowned the winner, she opened up about just how much it hurt.
It was one of the hardest parts of my career. At the time, I did love both of them. I couldn't erase the love that I had for my team, but I also couldn't speak out, and I felt so imprisoned. And when we later spoke about it, Drake said, I wasn't worried about anything in that entire situation other than, what if Nicki takes a shot at me, then what? You know, that would have been so painful for both of us.
As well as the fact that before things got underway and diss tracks started flying, she had actively tried to prevent it.
I was behind the scenes, of course, wishing it never happened. Even prior to it happening, I tried to stop it from happening. I said, don't do that. It is what it is, you know, like, one thing I do know is that both Meek and Drake have moved on from that.
Yes, they have.
From the anger and all of this stuff.
As for her relationship with Drake, she claimed that they almost squabbled over it.
I would be lying if I said Drake and I didn't have a whole conversation about this, where I told him, man, what, I don't think, you know, because I was still in the mode of things that Meek, you know, did. And then seeing the relief that they both got from it and seeing it be so genuine, like, if you know them, you know that this has been weighing heavily on them, because it's not about who's more successful or any of that. It's just about, man, when you know that you've known someone and y'all was cool and you actually truly liked them as a person at one time, and then something small became something big, and then now you guys hate each other and you carrying that. It's something that is just, until it's dealt with, it feels horrible. Like, it just feels like it's eating away at you, you know? But no matter what you do, you gotta make sure you're not in the same building with this person. You gotta make sure that, you know. So I'm happy for them.
And while she might have been happy enough to move on, it doesn't change the fact that he put her in that situation.
And seeing that right after this brawl that, you know, at the biggest party of Fashion Week, I just felt so embarrassed. Like, this is not supposed to happen.
But the damage left behind the scenario was done, and by 2017, Meek Mill and Nicki broke off their 2-year engagement. To confirm, yes, I am single. She tweeted on January 5th, focusing on my work and looking forward to sharing it with you guys really soon. Have a blessed new year. Then, by February 1st of that year, she posted a picture alongside Drake. But it's safe to say that, despite the occasional interaction, their relationship has never truly been the same. In fact, Nicki was one of the first to call out his hypocrisy, pointing out that he had no problem benefiting from his UMG ties long before he decided to take legal action against them. After feeling her Queen album had been undervalued and underpublicized by her label, she suggested it was due to her unwillingness to play ball, while painting Drake as someone who reaped the rewards of playing along with the industry. Spotify put Drake's face on every playlist but told me they'd have to teach me a lesson for playing my music 10 minutes early on Queen Radio. Even though they've been giving away my music for free for years, and I am one of the top Spotify artists of all time. Whether he held a grievance over this or something else entirely, Drake would wind up doing Nicki dirty again. After initially being announced for a collaboration, Minaj was reportedly cut from For All the Dogs. The track in question, Needle, was one she had personally requested for her own project, only for it to be claimed for Drake's album and then ultimately left unused.
You know, originally this song was going to be on his album, and it's so crazy how I always wanted it for my album.
Recently, she called him out for choosing to collaborate with Latto, one of her known rivals, instead of her, hinting that the relationship might be beyond repair.
So, Ugly Boy 1 and Ugly Boy 2, they know they forever gonna have a willing participant because ugly girls are so desperate for this money, you know.
Nicki held Drake down and didn't switch on him like everyone did during the Kendrick beef, just for him to collab with Latto. And while Nicki fans are correct that she never actively rebelled against him or joined in to throw fuel on the fire, she also didn't make any attempt to defend him at the height of the Kendrick beef either. But it's not like she's been shy about calling out Dot as well, as when Lil Wayne was snubbed from the Super Bowl halftime show, she was quick to come to his defense. In the Meek beef, Drake picked up an emphatic victory, but it appears to have been at the expense of damaging his bond with Nicki. And if he's willing to throw a longtime friend into the crossfire, should it really be a surprise that he's kept using the same tactic over and over? Except from here on out, it has continued to backfire, which was especially clear when he engaged in a rap battle with Pusha T. By 2018, tensions had been bubbling between Drake and one half of the Clips duo for a while. In a lot of ways, they had always been feuding as an extension of the longtime animosity between Star Trek and Cash Money. But after a succession of subliminals, Pusha formally threw the gauntlet down on 2018's Infrared, referencing Drake's ghostwriting scandal with lines like, "It was written like Nas, but it came from Quentin." And, "How can you right your wrongs when you don't even write your songs?" Without hesitation, Drake fired back at Pusha with standard battle bars about him not being authentic and generally whack. But just like he did with Meek, he took things a step further by dragging Pusha's fiancée into the mix, rapping, "I told you keep playing with my name and I'ma let it ring on you like Virginia Williams." But what he didn't realize when he did that was that unlike the Meek scenario, Drake was playing checkers while Pusha was playing chess, which was summed up by a user who wrote, "Drake came with rap punchlines and Pusha hit back with investigative journalism." On the story of Adidon, Pusha let it be known that bringing his family into it in the shape of Virginia was a bad move that would have terrible consequences, rapping, "Since you name dropped my fiance, let him know who you chose as your Beyonce." With that, Pusha sought to destroy him once and for all, exposing that he had a kid with an adult star known as Sophie Brousseau and hid it from the world. In the process, he exposed not only what Drake had withheld from the public, but blew up the Adidon Adidas press run that was supposed to help him bring it to the attention of the world. In the aftermath, everyone knew that Push had won and he didn't feel the slightest bit of remorse. All because Virginia's name was mentioned.
All bets are off because of that. That alone causes all bets to be off.
I agree with you.
Fair game.
All relationship stuff is on the table now because he brought up your fiance. I agree.
Yes.
For Pusha, it was truly deeper than rap, as he insisted that he was trying to start a broader conversation over his character.
If Drake taps out, would you stop Push? Would you be like, all right, I'm good?
No.
Tap out. I mean, you know what? I'm not gonna bully the situation because I feel like I think it's bigger questions now, though. I really do.
100%.
They don't have to be answered to me, but I definitely feel that they're a bigger question than the things that I brought up, and I mean that he has to answer. I really feel like they need to be answered. That's real. We talked about the writing or whatever, the ghostwriting allegations. All right, cool. We off that. Now you get to like, you know, the mimicking of the black culture, right? Blackface. Okay, I'm not ready to excuse that. I'm not really ready to excuse, you know, you talking multi-millionaire talk to me and you tucking a baby. Like, I'm not with all of that.
Right.
So like, I don't even hang with my friends who have child support issues.
In later interviews, he noted his disdain for healthy relationships and proclaimed it all went back to his childhood.
Now I gotta dig deeper into who the person is. Now I gotta dig in and see, what are y'all like? What's your family like? Oh, your dad left you at 5. Oh, I get that. And he never walked you to the bus stop. You're mad about this. Oh, like you parade your dad around in these weird suits. You parade him. It's clown-like. That's what I get. I get clown feelings from that.
Back then, even his current day defender Maul agreed that bringing women into it meant that anything could happen.
He said it. Pusha put it out there. Nothing is off. Nothing is out of bounds right now.
What did Drake say about his fiance? He said her name. A wedding ring of what?
Said he was gonna make it ring. But Push probably feels like.
Even though, wait, time out. Before y'all go any further, I've been saying for quite some time, no, niggas from a different generation, like you just speaking, you can't talk about somebody's girl.
Yeah, you beef.
Because the second you talk about somebody's girl, you've triggered something.
Yeah.
You have triggered another level in beef.
Yes.
Like I'm getting on the phone, I'm looking for you. We gotta talk. Like, really not doing that. So I do understand that.
Yet he's done it time and time again. After claiming the sex was average with you about Rihanna, he got retaliation from Flacco, who spit, "In they feelings over women. What, you hurt or something? I smashed before you birthed, son. Flacco hit it first, son." And when Not Like Us dropped, Drake sought to hit mustard where it hurt, following his ex-wife and mother of his 3 children on Instagram. It doesn't stop there either. When getting roasted in the comment section by some random dude on Instagram, his first line of defense was to go straight for the women in his life. "I just followed your girl because she's probably miserable and needs some excitement in her life." But while these stories are well documented, there's one instance where Drake tried to hit a rival MC where it hurts. One that only adds to the perception that his tactics are a little suspect. The tension between Mos Def and Drake is a bit unusual. In many ways, it started with Drake himself. After Complex reviewed his poetry book, he took to Instagram to fire back at the reviewer, writing, "Can you do an article where the baddest Instagram girls in the world review my poetry book? Not the head of the Mos Def fan club. Thanks." Not long after, Mos, now known as Yassine Bey, was asked about his thoughts on Drake. And the legendary conscious rapper behind Black Star with Talib Kweli and the classic Black on Both Sides didn't hold back.
Like, is Drake hip hop? I know.
Drake is
we're here
pop.
for truth. We're here for truth.
Drake is pop to me.
Right, that's fair. In the sense that it's charting like pop music.
Yeah, Drake is. Not only is Drake more pop, he's like a new generation of like a crossover hip hop. He's not pop. It's like a crossover hip hop because he's actually rapping, but he's like doing a singing rap with that Tupac auto-tune and stuff. So yeah, we about to do some things, man. Here we go.
I know.
Drake is
because we're here
pop.
for truth. We're here for
Drake
truth.
Drake is pop to me.
Right, that's fair. In the sense that it's charting like pop music, popular music.
In the sense, like, if I was in Target in Houston and I heard a Drake song, so it feels like a lot of his music is compatible with shopping. Or it's shopping with an edge in certain instances.
Yeah.
Or
Fair. I like Drake's music, but I understand exactly what you're saying.
of course, I mean,
It's
get
commercial, entertaining, fun, good,
it's
formulaic music.
It's likable
music, yeah.
It's likable.
As always, Drake took this personally, even if most of his criticism was purely his perspective
Mos
on
Def.
music. Soon, he took to Instagram, referring to the legendary spitter as a bohemian bucket, which is slang for crackhead. Now, thankfully for Drake, Mos is a humble and mature man. So, rather than getting in his feelings, he actually explained what was transpiring.
Drake, if you would like to speak to me directly, you can at any point.
Man, come on, dog. Some of y'all hip hop guys that jump out there too hard, Drake. Come on, man. You're going to talk about this dude is a legend in Mos Def put it down, period. He's a legend, man. He worked hard. You gotta tip your hat to him. You gotta tip your hat to him. But at the same time, dude, I don't know, man. You gotta be humble, man. I'm just gonna go like that. Let me back up. Let me see what I was gonna say.
Soon, he took to Instagram, referring to the legendary spitter as a bohemian bucket, which is slang for crackhead. Now, thankfully for Drake, Mos is a humble and mature man. So, rather than getting in his feelings, he actually explained what was transpiring.
Drake, if you would like to speak to me directly, you can at any point. I reached out to Chappelle, asking to reach out to you. I DM'd you. You are a very talented MC. I require more of myself and others than just talent or charm or charisma, particularly in times of urgent crisis. And what I would like to see in terms of creators or creative people in the world as it relates to our culture is for people to connect with us beyond the jukebox.
And maybe Drake should have listened, because with one quote, he actually predicted a lot of the jumping ship that occurred during the Drake-Kendrick beef, almost as if he was forewarning what would come.
You know, a fair weather friend can hardly be called a friend at all. The people who party with you, that's cool, but will they show up if you're at the triage?
Despite Mos' open and honest response to him, Drake did what Drake does and followed a woman in his life. Except this time, he picked his daughter Layla, who was born 2 months after Drake had begun his rap career with room for improvement. And yes, you're not the only one who thinks this was weird. As one user put it, Mos Def said Drake wasn't hip-hop, and Drake's response to that was to follow his freshly 18-year-old daughter. Naturally, people were both horrified and baffled, questioning how anyone would think this is a good idea. To many, it felt like yet another glimpse into Drake's warped mindset. Does he have no self-awareness, or does he just not give a fuck? When the #1 record in the world is calling you a PDF, you probably shouldn't be following teenage girls. He does not see her as a person with feelings. He uses her as a pawn that he should use in order to hurt her dad. Thankfully, Layla hasn't followed him back. Instead, she's a young artist in her own right who opened up about her hip-hop icon father.
Is Mos Def your dad? Is there any relationship between you and Mos Def, since it seems that's the most asked thing?
Yes, he is my dad, y'all. The rumors are true. No, I'm kidding, but yes, he's my dad. He's my dad.
Did you learn anything from him in terms of your approach to music at all?
I don't know. Beautiful. I guess like I kind of just always been my own like artist.
Yeah, there you go.
And like,
see, I'm 58. Uncle Mike 58, y'all. And she's what, 18, I think? 18, 19. And I can stand proud and say she's beautiful. She's a very pretty little girl, little woman, or whatever you want to call it. Now, do I want to have sex with her? Hell no. Because I want to have sex with women that are my age. So, hey, if any y'all, oh, that's right. I just came from the Philippines. Yeah. and my fiance is 52. She told me she was 41. I'm gonna have to send her back. Joke, y'all. Joke. I'm just playing.
In terms of your approach to music at all.
But she's beautiful though.
I don't know. I guess like I kind of just always been my own like artist.
Right.
In a way. And like that's a cool thing because I feel like as a kid, like whenever we would just jam sesh and like vibe out, like me and him, like I don't know. I always had my own style. I always had my own thing going on. And he's always just been like, okay, kid, I see you.
Admittedly, this treatment is not solely reserved for the men he has disputes with. Instead, it can also happen to any famous woman he is rejected by and their future partners. Years back, Drake and Serena Williams had a brief fling. It began with flirty tweets like this one from 2011 that read, "I cannot wait to put it on you and make you sweat" during our match this weekend. Then, as Drizzy's stardom continued to rise and Serena remained as dominant as ever, the Young Money artist decided to use 2013's Worst Behavior from Nothing Was the Same as an opportunity to pay homage to Williams, rapping, "I'm with my whole set, tennis matches at the crib. I swear I could be Serena when she playing with her left." Despite Serena's claims that the relationship was friendly, the pair would be spotted kissing not once, but twice in the space of a couple of months. As they continued to appear at her matches, the pair were spotted locking lips in the VIP section of a restaurant in Cincinnati. Eventually, things went south and they parted ways amicably. Or at least that's what Serena thought. But years on, he decided to randomly swipe at her husband, Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian, on Middle of the Ocean from her loss, spitting, "Sidebar, Serena, your husband a groupie. He claimed we don't got a problem, but no boo, it is like you coming for sushi. We might pop up at him at will like Suzuki." In response, Alexis let it be known that he was happy to let his wife's biggest supporter. Meanwhile, the internet dragged Drake over the coals. Imagine being the softest little baby in hip-hop and thinking you're coming out swinging against all these successful women who don't give a fuck about you. Drake is such a loser, acting like an incel.
What?
He disgusts me. Really, it's no surprise that after that all went down,
Man, that's crazy. It's like, dude, you writing bars, you got a flow, you got something going on, but don't nobody give a freak. Don't nobody care about what you talking about. I still haven't heard none of Drake's diss, and did he win? Oh my gracious,
all these successful
man.
women who don't give a fuck about you. Drake is such a loser, acting like an incel. He disgusts me. Really, it's no surprise that after that all went down, Serena was happy to dance on his grave at the ESPYs this year.
Some of the best athletes in the world are right here in this room. Some of the strongest, fastest, and most skilled people ever are right here. And if I've learned anything this year, it's that none of us, not a single one of us, not even me, should ever pick a fight with Kendrick Lamar. He will make your hometown not like you. The next time Drake sits courtside at a Raptors game, they're gonna Forrest Gump him. Sight's taken.
And of course, she did so at the Super Bowl, where she joyfully crip walked to Not Like Us in front of 100 million people.
You go, Serena.
Another woman who can empathize with this situation is Jorja Smith, the British R&B artist who had a brief thing with Drizzy.
No interaction was between Drake and Jorja. I'd be like, he's definitely texted her at 4 a.m. saying, "I need you, girl." Has he never sent you that text at 4 a.m.? Oh man, I've got Drake all wrong.
I guess he's not as emotional as everyone thinks.
He's not. He's a tough guy, clearly.
Once they broke up, Drake threw bars at her new man, 𝗗𝗡𝗡𝗢𝗡, for having the audacity to be less successful than him on the track Jaded. "I need to know how the new dude you got does the same thing I do for a living, but is less wavy." Of course, it didn't stop there, and with a sizable age gap between them, the entire song had people creeped out by its lyrical approach.
Did y'all think he wants to control her? I could tell a girl you had potential and I wanted to shape it.
No, you can. You could definitely tell a girl that.
It's not gonna go over well.
I'm convinced that this is about Jorja Smith. Y'all don't judge him for getting a 20-year-old name or number tattooed on him. Come on, man, with this casual bullshit you niggas is doing.
I didn't know.
Listen to the fucking song and tell me that the shit that he's saying about a 21-year-old girl. I think that record was definitely about Jorja Smith. And
I'm glad that you related.
And I think it's creepy. But y'all think it's fine, so I don't know.
I don't know who it's about.
In every case,
I don't know how to feel
Drake's
anymore.
battle strategy follows the same strange pattern, targeting people who aren't even in the fight, hoping to provoke a reaction. After Pusha, you'd think he would have learned his lesson, but instead, he kept doubling down. In no time did it backfire worse than when he tried it with Kendrick. Back at the outset of the beef, Kendrick Lamar let Drake know that this was a sporting contest, declaring on Euphoria that this is a friendly fade, you should keep it that way. But instead, he chose not to heed Kendrick's warning. And across Family Matters in the Heart Part 6,
let me throw some shade on both of these niggas, man. Real talk. Neither one of them can dance though, man. Both of them got that hip hop swag, but Drake, neither one of them got no body moves, to be honest. I guess that's a street thing. Kendrick is a little smoother with his little two-step type thing or whatever. Hit me with the two-step. That's all they know how to do. They not no dancers. You know what I'm saying? When I say dancers, I'm talking about dancers that be dancing. Come on, man. You know, but you know, that smooth two-step is good enough. And that's Drake stays with, Kendrick stays where he's supposed to be. But Drake by himself in this video, watch this. Watch this.
He kept doubling down. In no time did it backfire worse than when he tried it with Kendrick.
He can barely
Back
do that
at the outset
move.
of the beef, Kendrick Lamar let
Look at
Drake
Kendrick.
know that this
One,
was a
two.
sporting contest,
One,
declaring
two.
on Euphoria
Yeah.
that this is a friendly
Smooth
fade.
with
You
it,
should
though.
keep it that way. But instead, he chose not
Look
to
at
heed
this. Look at
Kendrick's
this.
warning. And across family matters in the Heart Part
Look at
6,
this.
bringing up his fiancée and mother of his kids, Whitney Alford, would be his undoing. It started out with bars like this, which made some big swipes about Kendrick's personal life. Proposed in 2015, but don't want to make her your actual wife. I'm guessing this wedding ain't happening, right? I heard one of them kids might be Dave Freeze. Followed up with, only fucking with Whitney's, not Millie Bobby Brown's. I'd never look twice at no teenager. And Whitney, you can hit me if you need a favor. And when I hit you back, it's a lot safer. Drake even did some digging into Whitney's IG to find the comment where Dave Free commented a heart emoji on one of her pictures and then listed that as the cover art. However, as Kendrick made clear on Euphoria,
Don't speak on the family, Crody. You can get deep in the family, Crody. Talk about me and my family, Crody. Someone go bleed in your family, Crody.
but Drake didn't listen, setting himself up for everything that followed. From Not Like Us and the pop out to the Grammys, the Super Bowl, and even the GNX tour, the fallout was relentless.
Do your thing,
and
baby.
in the
Do your
aftermath,
thing.
even industry vets like Exhibit suggested Drake had no idea what he was getting himself into.
I think he was severely underestimated. And when you look at the parable of David and Goliath, and you see, somebody who's, very, dismissive or very arrogant or very, feeling like, because Drake wasn't talking the way he's talking now. What we're seeing now is
I ain't drinking a week. Hold on.
What we're seeing now is the repercussions of stepping on somebody that you shouldn't have stepped to. Like, they're not even in the same class. In my opinion, Drake should have just put out a massive hit for the women.
And after pushing so hard to paint a narrative that 𝗗𝗢 and Whitney were estranged, her music video appearance would prove to be the ultimate death blow.
The family matter and the truth. You a fucking colonizer. The family matter and the truth of the matter. He was God.
That's my man. I used to check him out.
The family matter and the truth
This
of
my
the
man
matter. He
too.
was God's plan to show y'all.
Wow.
The
They not like
plan to
us.
show y'all the liar.
Hey, look at the little baby. There
And
you
after all
go.
that happened, Kendrick capped it off by desiccating his Song of the Year award to his high school sweetheart.
What?
And somebody get the broom out. Get that broom out.
Hey. Part 2, Not Like Us. Whitney in the video, Crip Walker. We gonna dedicate that one. She's gonna. Jay liked them walks.
With that, Drake should be treading very carefully when it comes to posting wives and girlfriends online. But it appears if there's one thing he won't do, it's learn from his mistakes. If people still wonder why so many rappers couldn't wait to take Drake down, look no further than this. Now, with his reputation in shambles thanks to his own decisions, even easy targets like Joe Budden, who he recently tried to clown on his alternate Instagram with an unflattering photo, aren't taking the bait. And now he's of course targeting his co-host Melissa Ford on his new album with Party Next Door. You can't make this up. But more than anything, by once again posting another man's wife on the gram, Drake is playing a dangerous game. Because if UMG decides to fire back, it could be the final nail in the coffin. After all, if anyone knows where the skeletons are buried, it's a man's record label. It's your boy Luesta, and if you need any more content on Drake's downward spiral, believe me, I got you covered. Just click on any of these videos around my head right here. As always, I want to thank y'all for watching today's video, and if you haven't liked and subscribed already, make sure you do that, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
You know what Drake remind me of? Drake, you playing a game, man. Drake, look here, man. Real talk, man. And let this be a lesson to y'all. I'm a producer. I know how to produce music. So you're playing a game that you don't even need to play. You stay in your lane, so to speak. You make party songs, club, or whatever the case may be. First of all, you shouldn't even be beefing with nobody. You should just play the game of a ladies' man. You a red bone dude. Everybody, all the girls like you because they think you cute. You red bone, perfect hair, beard, shave. Play that side of the game. You over here with Kendrick. He in the street. These street dudes. Exhibit X is in the street. These dudes not a rap. They not a flow. They writers and everything. If I'm producing music, I remember I had a project to do, and it was a country. It was a black country female, and I had to produce music for country. I don't do country. I do hip hop and go-go music. I don't know nothing about no country. I'm out of my league. So guess what Uncle Mike did? I went and hired me a country producer to teach me the elements of country music. My guy, you stay in your lane. All you had to do is stay in your lane. You'd be bigger than. You should have let Kendrick. In fact, if you would have left Kendrick alone, maybe he would be asking you to do some music with him. But now you taking a loss. All your fans is like, yo, they not like us. I never in my life heard a daggone diss track go to the freaking Super Bowl, dog, on you. That right there is you done lost with the Uncle Sam. You done lost, young. Your diss track has made it to the Super Bowl. That's not a loss. That's a 100% loss, dude. They not like us. Look here, man. Y'all let me know in the comments, man. Do Drake got a chance? Boy, you better Drake. All you need to do is make a big I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna stick to what I do, which is making love music, and go chase all those women. Lonely women will buy your music. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.